Okay, let's go ahead and go through the solution to the first of the two intercompany bond transaction problems. This is the one where there's a direct issuance, little issues bonds directly to big, and again, our first order of business, we've got a bunch of variables there. We need to copy and paste as values. Okay, big company owns 80% of little company common stock. On January 1st, 2020, Little issues bonds directly to Big for $167,310. These bonds have a face value of $169,000 and a stated or coupon interest rate of 12%. The bonds pay interest annually each December 31st. Bonds are dated January 1st, 2020 and have a term of 15 years. Required. Prepare an amortization table using the effective interest method for 5 years and prepare elimination entries for this intercompany bond transaction for the first 2 years. So let's go ahead and do our amortization table first, and of course the first step is to figure out what the effective interest rate is. So cash flows, we sold them for $167,310. Our annual interest is going to be 12% of the face value. And that's going to go on for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years. And then at the 15th year, we have not only the interest, but also the principal being repaid. And let me just confirm that that's 15 years. Okay, so there's our 15-year term. And again, we use our internal rate of return function. And we get an internal rate of return of 12%. And again, as I mentioned elsewhere, that's rounded. So let's go ahead and put some more decimal places there. Okay, so 12.148%. Now let's do our amortization table for the first 5 years. So what do we have? We have the year, we have the beginning carrying value, times the effective rate, equals the interest, revenue for the bond buyer, expense for the bond issuer, minus the coupon interest, and the remainder is the amortization. And just to round things out, let's go ahead and have a column for the ending carrying value. And I need to clean up my editing there a little bit. Okay, so 2020, our first year. In fact, I'm going to go and do an amortization table for the full 15 years. So there's our 15 years. Beginning carrying value, the amount they were issued for, $167,310. The effective rate is that, and I'm going to use my $sign there to make that a permanent reference. Interest, expense, or revenue, that times that. Coupon interest, that. Amortization, that minus that. Ending carrying value, that. Beginning carrying value plus the amortization. Okay, so let's go ahead and first check this. Something's wrong. Oh. Oops, that's the problem. There we go. And the problem was I'd use the coupon interest, I'd use the value in this cell here, and for this 15th year, obviously I had the interest and the principal. So changing that to $20,280. My amortization table is working out just fine. There's my ending carrying value at the end of the 15-year term. The carrying value is the face value of the bonds. And now let's go and do our elimination entries for 2020 and 2021. And here we're just going to pull the data right off of our table. Let's be a little more systematic about this. Let's see what the list is that the issuer and the buyer have on their ledger at this point in time. The issuer has bonds payable, and that's going to be the face value of 169 even. They've got a remaining discount on bonds. Now, the discount on bonds, we're looking at end of year values. Again, we're asking ourselves, what ledger balances do the companies have at the end of the year that need to be eliminated? At the end of the year, the carrying value is 167,354.80. If there's a face value of 169, that means the discount is the difference between the face value and the carrying value, or 1645.20. And the issuer has interest expense, pulling it right off the table. Interest expense, 20,324.80. The buyer, they've got an investment in bonds. I'm going to go ahead and move these over a little bit. They've got an investment in bonds, end of year value, 167,354.80, and they have interest revenue. Again, pulling it right off the table of 20,324.80. So again, this is our sort of shopping list of what the two companies have on their ledgers. These bonds, from a consolidated standpoint, never existed. All evidence of these bonds needs to go away. So we're going to go ahead and debit bonds payable. We're going to debit interest revenue. We're going to credit interest expense. We're going to credit discount on bonds. And we're going to credit investment in bonds. Basically for these amounts up here. So bonds payable, that amount. Interest revenue, that amount. Interest expense, that amount. Discount on bonds, that amount. Investment in bonds, that amount. We're going to do the exact same thing for 2021. Bonds payable still the same as it was. Interest expense is now, from the second year, 20,033.20. And the discount on bonds, again, at the end of the second year, the carrying value is 167,405.03. With a face value of $169,000, that implies a remaining discount of about $1,500 or $1,600. So the difference between the carrying value and the face value, I need to get rid of that minus sign. Okay, similarly, the investment in bonds at the end of the second year is now 167,405.03. Interest revenue, again, right off the table, 20,330.2 or 0.24. Again, interest expense is the mirror image of interest revenue. The carrying value of the bond liability is equal to the carrying value of the bond asset. So again, now it's simply a matter of getting rid of all these accounts. And I've already got the account titles just waiting for me. Interest revenue, 20,330.24. Interest expense, same thing. Discount on bonds, and investment in bonds. Okay, so there's our solution to the direct issuance, where one party issued bonds directly to the related party.